Yo, what's good, guys? Wanted to talk about a video I watched earlier today on the Fresh and Fit podcast. So it was like a sequence of the podcast that was about women and makeup and who they wear makeup for. So there was a big debate between Myron Fresh, Andrew, and the rest of the women, because the majority of the women insisted that they wear makeup for themselves and only for themselves, while the men, Myron Fresh and Andrew was one of their guests. His name is Andrew Wilson, amazing debater. They insisted that obviously they do it to attract the opposite sex, which is true. It absolutely is, and I want to get into that. So the women said, we do this for ourselves. We do this to feel good about ourselves, to get confidence, to feel pretty, and yada, 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 right? But the thing is, these women don't think about why they truly do it. See, a lot of women don't go to bed with makeup. They remove the makeup before they go to bed because they have no reason to wear makeup while sleeping. But as they're going to show themselves to the world, they put makeup on to enhance their beauty and portray themselves in a different way, to make themselves as physically attractive as possible. Why do they do this? Do they do this for women? Absolutely not. They're not trying to attract women. They're trying to attract men at the end of the day. Not just any men. Of course, they're trying to attract the ideal man. But they're absolutely doing it to attract the opposite sex. Now, of course, the makeup in itself can make them feel better about themselves, but there's a reason it makes them feel better about themselves. Deep down, inherently, biologically, in their instincts, it's all about attracting the opposite sex. That's why it makes them feel better about themselves. Beauty wouldn't even be a thing for women if it wasn't about attracting the opposite sex, which is men. The reason most of women's value derive from their beauty, the reason for that is because that's how they attract the best kind of man. And that's why they use makeup to enhance their beauty even further. Especially women that may not be super attractive. They may be, pretty average, maybe even below average. So they use makeup to their advantage to make themselves to increase the value their value in the sexual marketplace, right? So that's why they do it. But they were insisting that this is not what it's about. Biologically, men and women will always try to attract the opposite sex. It's biologically deep within us. Because if we didn't have that within us, the human race wouldn't keep going. It's been inside of human beings to want to procreate for millennia. That's what we're made to do. Our purpose is to procreate. It's to make humanity keep going. That's why we're here. And men and women do that in different ways. Men do that by providing resources, by providing protection, security, financial security. Women do that by portraying the things that make them most valuable. The most important thing women have that make them valuable in the sexual marketplace is their beauty. So they leverage that to be able to fulfill their biological needs, which is to procreate, but they don't want to do it with any man. They want the best kind of man. So for these women to sit there and say and claim that they do it for themselves and only for themselves, that they do it because they feel good about it. Yes, that's true. But the problem is they're only thinking one step ahead. They're only thinking, okay, I do it because I feel good about it. But the reason they feel good about it is because they're able to attract the men that they truly want by using makeup to enhance their beauty. Let's say they were on a deserted island and there were only women on that deserted island, but they had makeup on that island as well. They could use makeup each and every single day. But again, there's only women on that island. Would they use that makeup? Would they actually wear it? Absolutely fucking not. Because if there are no men on that island, their biological instincts will not kick in to procreate, because they know they cannot procreate with other women. That's not how it works. They need a man to procreate. And of course, as I said, they're going to want the best man, but that's besides the point. They need a man, period. But if they're on a deserted island with only women, those biological needs and instincts will not kick in. Therefore, they will absolutely not use that makeup. Absolutely not. And as some of them argued that they use makeup in groups of women to make themselves look good compared to these women and in these women groups, right? And to network and just like build connections. But why do they actually do it? If it's only for building connections and network, they wouldn't need the makeup. They do it because it's competition. The most beautiful woman in these networking circles will have the most status, because a woman's beauty is attributed to her status. The more beautiful woman is, the more status she's going to have, because the more attention she's going to get. So beauty is a huge, determining value of a woman. And of course, they're going to try to leverage that value and increase it in any way they can by using makeup. And of course, they're going to do it for the opposite sex. There's no other reason to do it. Again, if they were on a deserted island, there were no men present, their biological needs and instincts would not kick in. They would have no reason, they would have no reason to wear that makeup. And the men insisted, you do this for men, just the same as we want to drive these nice cars, have all this money to attract the best kind of women. The tens, the beautiful, gorgeous models, the feminine, modest, and absolutely gorgeous women. That's why we do it. Deep within, that's why every man does this. And any man that says, I don't do it for the women, maybe some men and some women genuinely don't, but that's a small minority. 99.99% of men and women do what they do to enhance their status in their respective way to attract the opposite sex. Women increase their status by being beautiful, enhancing their beauty, being feminine, being modest, and so on. Men do it by increasing their resources, their capabilities to provide and protect, and so on and so forth. So we have different ways of increasing our status, right? So again, the men, I'm not going to sit here and say the reason I want to become rich has nothing to do with women. Of course it does. It honestly mostly has to do with women. I want the best kind of woman. I want to find the perfect woman to bear my children. I don't want any woman, a low quality woman, to bear my children. I'm not going to invest in a woman, provide for her, protect her, spend years with her, possibly even marry her, and be by her side through thick and thin if she's not the best kind of woman for me. And for me to be able to even secure a woman like that, I need to get my resources up. I need to therefore get my status up. It's the same thing. The difference between men and women is we're willing to admit that we do it for these reasons. And it's not weird for women to wear makeup for men, or men to provide and attain status and be able to protect and provide resources and so on and so forth to attract the opposite sex, which is women. It's in our biological needs and instincts to do these things. This is what we're made to do. We want to procreate. We are made to procreate. That's why we're put on this planet. And that's why we do everything that we do. This is the purpose of our lives. We're here to procreate and keep humanity going, to have our own children, keep our bloodline going. That's what we do while we do. It's why we do what we do. We don't struggle for 70, 80, 90, or even 100 years, depending on how long we live. We don't suffer and struggle for nothing just for our bloodline to end right then and there. We don't do that. We do that to pass it along. But obviously we want the ideal partner, and that goes for men and women. Women want the ideal man. Men want the ideal woman. Right? That's who we want to procreate with. And the reason we want to present ourselves in the best way possible, for men, the ability to provide, and for women, their beauty, most importantly, the reason we do these things is to increase our chances of finding that ideal partner that we can procreate with. So for these women to sit there and say, I don't do it for men, I do it for myself because I feel good doing this. They're only thinking one step ahead. They're not thinking about why they feel good about doing this. Why do they feel good? Why are these emotions arising within themselves after they wear makeup and walk in public and go to the club looking good? Why? They're not thinking about that. But the truth of the matter is they do it for men at the end of the day. Unless they're gay, then it's another story. But we're talking about the general populace, general with women and men. So yeah, I just found that video very, very interesting. How women can't admit, or those women specifically, why it is that they wear makeup. There were like 1 or 2 women on that pod that were like that weren't so stubborn and so proud and could actually admit as to why they were doing it. But most of the men were pretty damn open, or all the men, not most, sorry. Myron, Fresh, and Andrew, they were open and honest and straightforward. They said, the reason we want the Lambos, the status, the riches, everything is to attract women. But when they say women, obviously they mean high quality women. Same goes for women. They want high quality men, not just any men, because it's not difficult for a woman to attract a man. Men want to fuck anything, especially most simps out there. But they want the best kind of man. So they're going to do everything in their favor to increase their chances of attracting that man. The way they do that is through beauty. Women manipulate their looks to get what they want, whereas men manipulate their words to get what they want. We're very different in what we're attracted to. But yeah, I just found that entire video very, very interesting. And, women who say these kinds of things are absolutely wrong. Whether they want to admit it or not, they're not thinking about why they actually want these things. They think, oh, well, it makes me feel good. I do it for me. But that's not really true. You do it for you because it increases your chances of finding your dream partner. That's how you do it for you. It is self-serving in that sense. That is why you do it for yourself. So they're not thinking a few steps ahead. They're thinking about the next step. I do it for me because it makes me feel good. But why does it make you feel good? Whereas men, we're more honest, we're more realistic, and we tell like it is. We do it for women, period. Because we know why we're grinding. We're not suffering for nothing. We're not suffering to make money online and build our empire and then spend 70, 80, 90, 100 years on this planet to just die and have our bloodline end right then and there. We don't do that for that reason. Neither do women. We want to pass our bloodline on. It's in our biological needs to do so, and our biological instincts to do so, to keep humanity going and keep our bloodline going. So yeah, that was my little rant about that little video. Yeah, I just needed to talk about it because I found it very interesting, and I had some thoughts about it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. This video is almost 15 minutes now, so I'm gonna cut it right now. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.